Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the USA Cycling Racing League, presented by Indoor Specialist. I'm Nathan Gary, going to be your host alongside of Dave Toll next to me. Well, kind of next to me virtually, but I'm in Colorado. Dave, going to be amazing race series that we're kicking off here today on a whole lot of lava in Watopia. And we got your Mike, Dave.
I always turn it off for the intro there. I love the music so much. So, hey, Nathan, we've had a couple of weeks of getting ready for this. We've been out racing, but have I got some riders to highlight for you? Very quickly, folks, thanks for joining us. A lot of love for our friends at USA Cycling. They are working really hard, Nathan, to bring racing back as quickly as they can when it's safe, man. We are ready to go. So this is a great way for us to get together out on Watopia. It's going to be 2 laps on the whole lot of lava course. It's a really challenging circuit. I'm going to go to Nathan for details on that. Before we do, I want to welcome Brandon Rim. He's going to be riding for the Arapahoe BMC Hincapie team. So first time I've seen him out here. Doesn't mean first time he's raced on Zwift for sure. The Legion boys are showing up. Nathan, this team, oh man, these are the rock stars in American cycling right now. Hunter Grove, Tyler Williams, I know those two are here. We've got some big announcements about races that are coming up on Zwift. It's really good to get this community together because, Nathan, there is a sad note. I wanted to extend our condolences to Pat Malek's family, all of his colleagues at Cycling News. It just absolutely breaks my heart that this weekend we lost Pat. Man, did he love cycling as much, if not more, than anyone I know. He not only covered the sport for, he did like Oregon's regional publication. That shows you how much he was all in on this. Pat was a cyclist himself. He was getting really fit, actually. I think he lost like 40 pounds, 50 pounds, Nathan, in the last year before he passed away this weekend. So USA Cycling did a really nice job of very quickly, because it only happened on Sunday that he passed, or a couple of days ago. But a lot of the riders, like I was talking about, we will be talking about a lot more of the Americans and Canadians that would have known Pat really well. So thoughts are really with all who are going to be impacted by that loss. Certainly me and you, Nathan. So for our American racers, thank you for getting involved. USA Cycling has their numbers now. I hope you're to get your license number in, because we have 2 different categories. Back in the days, Nathan, we used to always say top American, like at a Norma National when the Euros would come over and kick some ass
now.
for various reasons.
Exactly that.
Right.
Well, I mean, if we take a quick look at the pens here, we can actually see that we got a minute 58 to the start to get over to the 2 laps, a whole lot of lava out here, but you can see a whole lot of country flags. So it will have that same field. Top American is definitely going to be a thing here, as we can see the Baconator, Matias there, Lewandowski. I'm looking at, I believe, Jeremiah Bishop's Pro MTB.
Legend.
I believe this is going to be, his avatar that we're looking at. We're seeing, plenty of flags all over here, obviously US, but there's going to be an international field showing up out here today. That is for sure. So the rankings will be split out by USA Cycling with your Zwift Power account. Make sure that you are signed up on ZwiftPower.com. If you are, and connecting your Zwift account to ZwiftPower.com, you got to do that through your Zwift account on the web. And then from there, those have their USA Cycling license. They will be separated out, and results will be on the USA Cycling website.
All right, riders, 1 minute to start. We are locked and loaded. USA Cycling in full effect. Hey, I see the OG, Kevin Bouchard Hall is out racing. Top 30 in the world in Zwift Power rankings. 40,000 viewers with that video he made with Ted King. Pass on to your friends. Dan Fleeman is here. Super pro, legend, coming from out of the United Kingdom. Watch out for him, to all of our American riders. Sorry to tip them to you, Dan, but how could I not? You're a legend. So, Nathan, here we go. 30 seconds to start. There's one thing we've learned. Nothing like the start of a race in esports, Zwift racing. I'm going to throw it back to you, Nathan. Let's talk quickly about the course that they had ahead of them. It's 2 laps on a whole lot of lava here. This one's brutal.
Oh, this one is absolutely brutal. It's going to be 2 climbs up and over the top of about a 6 to 7 all-out minute effort. It's going to be absolutely a just nothing but haymakers over and over again, probably climbing over the top of that. We are going to have a very fast start, most likely. We are looking at Kevin Bouchard Hall as we do get going out here. And there we can see Ryan Christensen, Dan J making his way to the front here now. And then it is going to be Nation's #1 beast. I believe it's going to be one of the,
wow.
from what I can see, this
Williams.
is going to be one of the Williams boys here actually now. So good to see Legion showing up on the day and right almost to the front. Now, he was talking, I did see a little bit of chatter on the socials about, the kind of racing that goes on out on Zwift and whether or not the crit racer is going to be able to race the same, as we see in this specific kind of course too. This is a kind of course that maybe not going to suit it. We'll have to wait and see as far as the punching goes. We do have announcement just recently that sounds like they're going to be involved as well in a race series that's going to have a crit next week, actually. So they specifically, they said they were looking forward to that. But we'll see how things throw down here today, though, as they're up toward the front. 156 beats per minute, 6.57 watts per kilogram. And this is going to be the first kick as they head toward the whole lot of lava course. They'll take a right-hand turn after this little underpass, 3-4% uphill gradient, about 30 seconds kick or so here, and then they'll be heading toward the volcano.
Well, they certainly need no introduction when you talk about the Williams brothers. Corey and Justin are superstars in this sport. Man, I was just talking with Malcolm McCollum from Tulsa Tough, where they were just put on such a show in Tulsa last year. I can't wait to see what they can do out here. Again, they've got this Legion team, super strong squad. Hunter Grove, Tyler Williams, not their brother, but really just part of this Legion team. I would almost say, well, certainly they come out of the West Coast, but this team has, like Thomas Rivard is on the squad now. He's not out of the West Coast. He's out of Indiana. But we're going to be looking at Cormac McGee is out here, the wildlife generation rider. We've been seeing him racing out quite a bit on Watober, actually, I should say, in esports recently. So taking a look at the front of the group, it's going to become a who's who very quickly. Ben Schmoody was up there. Nice to see the Gateway Devo rider, that team based out of Missouri. Perennial contenders out on the national circuit year in, year out. That's the team that Sepp Kuss wrote for just a few years ago, who's gone on to become a world tour heavy hitter and Vuelta a España stage winner. We're going to Spencer Downing out here, rider out of Colorado, always a man to keep your eye on. Oh, it's fun to watch what's happening right now. Well, it's fun to watch, not fun to be a part of. It's the massacre going on here. Look at what they've done already. Only the strong survive out here, Nathan. Holy cow.
Yeah, we are seeing Ovid here, actually. So it does look like we do have a couple of UCI pros showing up as well. So that's always good to see them mixing it up amongst the crowds here. Be watching out for them. As we do see Williams here, though, toward the back now after that initial kick, maybe just sitting in, waiting for, this is going to be a waiting game for the climb, actually. There is the reality that it isn't a whole lot of pressure on the group. We may see a couple of attacks early on here, but I have a feeling that most likely everybody's going to be sitting in and just waiting for that initial kick up and over the top of the Volcano KOM that's going to be coming up here in just a few moments here. There's Spencer Downing actually picking up the BNB. So just so you know, a lot of the team tags that people are riding for in Zwift, for those of you that aren't familiar with, we're probably going to have a lot of new viewers with this USA Cycling League that they're like, wait, what's going on? What's these team names? Not exactly sure what's going on with that. A lot of the in real life racers will sometimes they'll race for their team in game if they do have a team that does associate with Zwift. It's both in real life with their in real life genre as well as with their in Zwift genre of racing. But a lot of times they'll jump into an esports team. So as you can see here, Spencer Downey, the Bad News Bears, a team that's just recently shown up in the last couple of weeks here that's thrown their hat into the ring.
Can I make a perfect example there? Here's an interesting guy who represents so many things out here racing in esports. And I wanted to mention very quickly, thank you to Mike King, world champion in the downhill BMX legend. We've got e-bike world champion Charlie Mullins in this field, not on an e-bike here. He's on his, regular old racing bike, but that's super cool to have Charlie Mullins with us. Good luck out there, Charlie. Thank you, Mike. But going back to what you're saying, Cormac McGee is a great example. He lives in America, in Durango. He actually carries an Irish passport. He went to Fort Lewis College, so he's part of collegiate racing. He races for Wildlife Generation when he's out on the circuit, like racing actually internationally. But here, he's on that BNB team, the Bad News Bears squad, right, Nathan? So kind of touches on all of those different bases, how these athletes athletes can have different allegiances. It all makes sense when you hear the story. So, and
across different genres,
right
you can ride. You can ride for different different teams. There's a reality that
exactly
on the cyclocross bike, you might be riding for a certain team for that specific genre, and then on on the road or the mountain, it's a little bit different. A lot of times you do see some crossover in the mountain and the cyclocross. The genre tends to be a little bit similar in the way that they perhaps.
Yeah, what you see the most is they'll stick with the brand of bike. So if you're on Specialized, say, you'll go with whatever back in the day, you'd be on the California Giant cross team when you might be racing for Hagen's Berman on the road kind of thing. So Hagen's Berman, I should say.
Real quick here, Dave. We've actually got the women jumping out on course for the A's.
Oh, good.
We definitely want to highlight them. We got 43 women here in the USA Cycling Series. Jennifer Reel up toward the front here with the new Infinite presented by Cyrus team. Backus there from Turbo. This is a heavy hitter group of women, actually. I see a lot of Fearless tags, Infinite tags, their team Turbo tags. As far as the esports side of things go, this is stacked. I think I saw 6 women jumping in here for the Cyrus Infinite, actually. So watch out for them. Lolly Stevens is in here, though. She got her warm-up race. At Tibco, it looks like SBB has shown up with quite a few riders. So this is great to see. And we saw her pull 5 to 6 watts per kilogram to the top of that KOM just the other day, actually. These ladies coming from the Zwift side of things, I think they're going to have the work cut out for them with a couple showing up here from this Tibco team.
My gosh, yesterday, that was as you mentioned, the Volet ride. She dropped all of the men. Every single, and there were some big names like Payson McElveen. I mean, it was insane how strong it was. She is back and in full effect. When you talk about Lauren Stevens, you'll see her as Lolly Stevens as her Chiron there, her race tag. Super, super strong rider who's on her game out of Dallas, Texas, multi-time U.S. national team member. She represented us at Worlds. She would race on that Richmond course. She was out there making it happen. So Stevens going to be a rider to watch, no doubt about it. This is Charlotte Backus, one of my favorite esports racers and IRL racers. She's out of Colorado, and a real up-and-comer, Christy Tracy, racing as well, coming back from a fractured hip. She also out of Texas, different part, Austin, Texas, for Christy Tracy. So good to see some of the usuals here with some new names joining us. That's what we were expecting, Nathan, with USA Cycling having such huge range, tens of thousands of members. Many people who are big fans of USA Cycling are now trying out Zwift with us. And, well, you get to go in a front group here with Lauren Stevens. How's that for real?
Yeah, and Charlotte,
a little too real, I think.
It is. I think it's going to feel extremely real. Now, for those that might be unfamiliar with the course as well, it is 2 laps. So they're going to be going up and over the top of the volcano climb twice, with the finish across the finish banner inside of the volcano. And there's actually a little bit of a kick inside the volcano. So it's going to be interesting to see how that ends up playing out. Now, if as you can see here, the ladies are going to be doing the exact same lead-in that we just saw the men come on through. They started 5 minutes behind the men here, and we'll definitely be catching the results and grabbing the entirety of this women's race. I did see some questions coming on through in chat. Now, speaking of chat, we are live on Facebook, Mixer, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, as well as Twitch. So make sure that if you want to jump into the comments, go ahead and do so. We can grab your comments from almost any platform. You got questions, you got a favorite racer, who do you think is going to win, any of that kind of stuff. We already see a little bit of chatter actually coming in here, coming from, it looks like Brendan Sheehan snagged the first 2 hours ago. Y'all racing for second, coming in from Jack Diaz. So good to see already some of the banter coming in here as the ladies are making their way through the volcano. Now, the men here on the A side of the racing are jumping into their climb. So we're going to head on over to them as they start their first haymaker of the day up and over the top of the volcano climb.
Oh, James Pickley, second overall at the Tour of Utah, and now racing with the Israel Cycling Academy Startup Nation team. That's World Tour. So we have a few, you mentioned Ovet as well. We have a few World Tour riders with it. James racing out of Canada. But there's a big name I just noticed here sneaking into. That's the thing about the start list here. When you're looking at it on your iPad, it seems like I'm always going to miss a rider or two, maybe some late entries here.
Look at all the
there's Ovid right now.
verified badges to the front here,
Yeah.
Dave. I mean, yeah,
The
we've got
hitters.
a very serious crowd here showing up, and the watts are already kicking off here. Usually we start right around that 5.5 here, but this is nothing but 6+ watts per kilogram, 420 watts, right? And 182 beats per minute currently here coming from the Canadian right now. Gagnon here now coming from the ODZ team. Now, long time Zwifter actually here that I've been commentating on for quite a while. Good to see him showing up on the day as we now are seeing Romy making his way to the front. Maassen there from Dutch, the land of the Netherlands here.
Oh.
Number 1 Beast here to the front there. Williams now also toward the front here, making sure in a good spot. And then it's going to be Ovid trying to make a way all the front. Who is leading this out? And it's going to be Sobota here, the man from Denmark here, right ahead of Mills Keeling.
Nathan, obviously Jeremiah Bishop, who was, I would have to say, I was talking about Mike King earlier. He goes back to overlaps generations. He's been racing at the pro level for more than 20 years. Talking about Jeremiah Bishop out of Virginia. Good to see him up in this group. He's also really embraced racing out on Zwift. Always a force to be reckoned with. Great to see him in this group as we
Absolutely
take a look
awesome.
at the rotation up here on the front. Nathan, again, people are asking online here, and we do definitely appreciate the all the nationalities out here. It is going to be sorted out for all of our different categories, the men and the women. So we really have 8 different races going on. We're focusing on the men and the women. We'll jump back over to the women in just a moment, but we will separate out the results. There'll be the overall aggregate where you see everyone, and then just Americans. We can find out who the top American riders are, and let's hope that an American wins overall. It is USA Cycling's ride out here today. But Nathan, this group is remaining now pretty consistent as Sean Keogh that we're looking at there. But we're not seeing riders getting dropped at this point. If you made this selection, I think you feel pretty good about where you're sitting now. You take a look at the guys around you, do some inventory. Should be feeling pretty good right now. Big group.
Yeah, this first time
wheels.
up over the top, too, I think, Dave, they're going to take it, 2 times over the top. You give a little too much here, you can find yourself off the back pretty quickly on the second climb. 2 all-out efforts,
Yeah.
right around 6 to 7 minutes. I have a feeling that some of these riders are going to be reserving, waiting for that last kick. Now, as far as this climb goes, as you can see in the upper right-hand corners, those who may be unfamiliar with Zwift, you can see the little mini-map that's shifting around up there. Currently, they're sitting at a 3% uphill gradient. They're going to be jumping up into the 6, 7. It gets up into the double digits at the end of this climb. And usually the riders will go into almost a sprint mode into those last couple of meters over the top of this climb. That is really where they turn the screws on here. And if you are at your limit at that point and they sprint away, you get any gap. The way they descend, there is about a 10-second opportunity on the flat section after the climb here, and then it's downhill just as steep as we're going up, and that pack will fly away from you. So you have to be very careful on this climb. I've been dropped on it many a times. Bishop here now making his way to the front. He was actually telling me before the race. It is a pro
Nathan,
tip.
that really is. That's the pro tip here from Nathan. Believe me, riders, listen up. Man knows what he's talking about. He's an OG of this whole thing. Ben Schmute is having a great ride here, the Gateway Devo rider. They're starting to string this one out, Nathan. You can feel there's Fleeman. Okay, monster alert up on the front. This man is now, let's see. Okay, these are the hitters.
World Tour Pros
yes,
making the way to the front.
Obit is there. Fleeman is there.
Piccoli's here as well. Piccoli's toward the front. I mean, now we really are hitting to the business end here, and everybody can see 7 watts per kilogram, 455 here, and this is where the real show, the cream of the crop, is rising to the top. We can see a split at the back of the pack here. It looks like there's like 30 riders dropping off when these guys get hit at the front. Nation's #1 beast making it to the front here. 180 beats per minute, though. There's some real suffering going on. Look at Zonneveld there. Right behind him, it's going to be Peterson, then Vandenberg from the dirt team. Fitzpatrick just trying to hold on. It looks like we got a selection of about 20 riders out of the 180 that started here.
I mean, you're looking at a guy who was almost won the Tour of Utah last year, blowing this race apart. Look how many guys can hang in there with the Canadian Piccoli. This is such a moment here. We're going to remember this one. First race of the USA Cycling season presented by Indoor Specialist here on Zwift. We've got James Piccoli taking out the 20-pound sledgehammer. He's wailing away. World Tour rider out of Australia. Ovid, he's on the NTT team as we take a look at who can hang here. Jeremiah Jeremiah Bishop. We were just highlighting Bishop. He's hanging there. The Canadian Brett Boniface, one of the strongest riders, Nathan, that we see out on esports is there. This climb averages 4%, but Nathan, you said it gets really steep, up to 7%.
Here we go, 7,
at some
8,
point.
9.
Yep, here you
see
go.
The red numbers, 10%. Now, this is where the real kick is going to happen. And if you are suffering now, hang on, because they're going to come through 10 watts per kilogram. Now, Boniface going through as well. The Canadian coming here now. It's going to be Ovid now hanging on. It looks like we're going to have a solid group, though, making it over the top in contention. This is the breaking point, though. Look, this is where the elastic is starting to snap. If you do not close this gap right now, look behind you. Vyassen's there. Actually, Canyon CCC has shown up with Lionel Vyassen as well, the Belgian rider. Watch out for him for a win out here today, but obviously not going to be in the USA cycling rankings. But now this is that flat section I was talking about. Can Williams get across? Williams is going for it. Legion, can he make it? This is a make it or break it. 1 second. He has to do this now or his race will be over. And well, I mean, unless there's a chase group that can really form with McLuhan, Hone, Fitzpatrick, but they're going to waste so much trying to get across. Vyassen actually giving a wheel to Williams.
Oh, Lionel.
Did you see that? That was such a gentleman's handshake there. Come on, grab my wheel, get back on.
So Lionel Vyassen, the Belgian Express, one of the most dominant riders that we've seen over the last couple of years racing out here on Zwift. No one understands this platform better. Well, maybe Kevin Bouchard-Hall would be at the same level. This expertise really will pay off. There's a gaming element to Zwift as well. It's not just the engine, Nathan. You talk about that a lot. This looks to me like what do we have here? Is it a 20-rider front group? Maybe a little bit more than that.
Maybe a little more.
Tyler Williams is there, maybe 25. We're going to get some numbers for you. McCambridge has made it. The Irish rider is here. That's going to be in the white and blue jersey. That's going to be James Pickley, who we talked a lot about. He's the one that really, I mean, he punched the ticket of, I'd say, 10, 15 riders went out the back. Clark is there, the British rider. Canadian Boniface, he's certainly a rider to watch. I mean, that guy's absolutely stands out. McLuhan, the American here on the Bad News Bears team. He's one of the guys on their roster. They got a lot of hitters, and McLuhan is one of them. We got a little bit of a split happening up in the front. Okay, well, excuse me, that's a chase.
Look at the chase. This is
Alex
the chase
Hone.
group. Yep, 3 riders here trying to get back on terms there. You can just see them. They're within striking distance, but they're going to have to work so hard. That 11 seconds with a group like that ahead, so difficult to close down.
Nathan, Alex Hone on the Evolo team just moved over to Wildlife Generation this season. He was at the Amgen Tour of California last year, spending some time in one of the leaders' jerseys as the King of the Mountain. He was in a breakaway that almost made it to the line one day with Remy Cavagna. I mean, he rode off the front in the Amgen Tour of California. He's a big, big star. He literally contacted me yesterday, Nathan, asking how does he get involved in racing on Zwift, and here he is now.
I love it.
Love it. I mean, he's out of Kansas, a huge talent. Another one of these. You know, we had Riley Sheehan yesterday. Alex Hone is the breakthrough rider today. Alex, great to see you out here. Tremendous job. We're going to jump over to the women. This is going to be Lauren Stevens. Let's take a look at the damage that she's. Oh, Nathan, I love it. I'm getting goosebumps already. We still got another lap to. Well, more than a lap to go. The women now. I'm talking about 9K in here. So they're about 2/3 of the way through their first lap of 2 out on the whole lot of lava course.
Yeah, we can see Berger here from the Saris team now making her way to the front. It's going to be a rider up coming out of Israel supporting, it looks like, her American compatriots there. Grobler there from the team Revo showing up on the day as well. And then it's going to be Fearless as well as Turbo all in this group. But obviously the in real life pros jumping in are going to be a highlight here with that typical SBB team. And they've got a couple of riders, obviously Lauren Stevens. I was seeing another name in here as well just a moment ago flying through. Newsom I can see there, looks like.
Emily Newsom is. Yeah, let me just jump on that name, Emily Newsom, who is a huge talent. She's a mom as well. I always have tremendous respect for the athletes that are able to manage that in her life. I remember her at Tour of the Gila last year, would be out racing up onto the podium at the time trial while her mom was looking after her daughter. It was extremely cool to see how that family unit works so well. Emily is a huge talent, a lot of just a very mature, savvy racer, and would be 100%, I would say, the rider to watch if you're Lauren Stevens. Not that Lauren needs any help, right, Nathan? As a matter of fact, Yeah, if there's one rider here that stands out, talking about Lauren Stevens again, we're watching the women. We've got multiple women's categories out here today as well. So, but we are, Nathan, you do a really great job of really the maximum that we can cover with any respect is the 2A categories. So I love the fact that we're spending some time here. Good. Thanks for picking up the Tibco SVB rider, SVB Silicon Valley Bank. This is the longest running team in professional cycling right now when you talk about Tibco. Linda Jackson runs the squad. Lauren Stevens, Emily Newsom have been teammates here for a few years. Lauren Stevens goes back, I think this is her 6th season riding with Tibco now. And anyone else, Nathan, that we can pick out as far as American pros? Christy Tracy up there. Charlotte Backus has made this group. I mentioned them a little bit earlier, the Americans. Then a surprising number of non-American. Well, not surprising, right? Zwift is so international, this platform, with hundreds of thousands of people subscribing and riding just all over the globe.
Yeah, and it's a good shout out there, Christy Tracy, with the new Infinite Saris team. Now, Backus is definitely going to be one to watch out for, though, with Team Turbo. She's got a sprint. Turbo, can climb up over the top here, but when it comes to the line, watch out. And
she's got her first. Yeah.
Tibco SVB though, they are known on that crit circuit though in real life. Watch out if it does come to the line though, and they do not break away. I have a feeling that. And this is kind of a wild card for me. I've seen the Tibco team showing up on the Tuesday night Volley series that we're doing, but that's in meetups. That's in, creating these kind of gamified situations, having fun with it. I haven't really seen them too much in these esports broadcast races against this, level of Zwift racers. So this is a situation I've not been able to say anything about before, been able to make any kind of judgment about. So this is definitely going to be an interesting, how will it play out with this new blood in and amongst them? Now, not new blood, obviously, to the world of cycling, but most definitely new blood here in and amongst the racers. And I think it's going to throw a wrench into some of the ladies' plans, perhaps, because they're not going to be sure how to respond and when to respond and who's got what kind of strengths. So be interesting to see. But
there's a lot of things can come out of the woodwork on you in these situations, which makes it so exciting. Hey, Nathan, can I answer Marcel Van Garden's? They might recognize that last name. Well, he does it all, but he's a big-time racer as well, asking about why some bikes have glowing wheels. Nathan would answer better than I, but the simple answer is those are Tron bikes that the riders have earned with drops, which is basically an in-game point system. If you think like maybe more familiar with like Gran Turismo or something where the more you race, the better you do, the better equipment you can get. Same thing on Zwift. Nathan just upgraded his wheels the other day. So there you go, Lauren Stevens. Let's turn our attention to the action. You're right.
Real quick,
okay.
This is up over the top here.
Human wattage cottage right now.
This is the section here we were talking about. Berger, they're 9 watts per kilogram, trying to come across. And this is that section we saw in the men's race just a few moments ago where the riders have to get on or it will be all said and done. Now, with the field not being quite as big here, but we do have 2 breaking away, actually. Berger from Saris Infinite here getting away now, it looks like. Like Lauren Stevens and S. Berger here making a move, 3 seconds. But here's the thing, that group behind has enough bodies in it that they're going to have a lot more speed on the downhill. Lauren and Berger, they're going to have to commit to a TT. They're going to have to work together very well at this point in order to hold off that group. But it may put a couple of the riders that are just off the back here out of range to try and close things back down here. But I have a feeling the experience of the ladies behind is going to come into play here, and they're going to be able to shut this down. It's going to put some hurt on, though. We are seeing a couple off the back for sure with Grobler, Sweat there, as well as Allen from Fearless.
Nathan, I'm a big believer in star power, right? And I just got done watching the first couple episodes about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. I think this goes all the way. They're that strong. We're talking about Berger and Stevens. I know we're so far out. I mean, we're not even, we're a few kilometers away from completing the first lap. But, well, there you go. I'm already wrong. So, Nathan, your experience out here is invaluable. So, but how many are left now? That group has been reduced to about 15. I would
Yeah, I
have
would
to
say
say, as we
somewhere
take a look.
between 15 and 20 riders. Yeah, somewhere around between 15 to 20 riders. A lot of fearless. Pamela Vine from Team Vision is there as well. Backus there with that check mark next to the name. Turbo has made it. You can see Revo is in there. Always watch out for Team Rio. Daniela Estrait, she's going to be a huge support there. Not right now the USA, but it's going to be a support there for the rest of the Revo
And
team for sure.
Nathan, we got a good preview. You're so good at this part of it. We're going to get a good look at the run into the finish for the ladies that haven't raced on the whole lot of lava course. It's, every finish is unique. And I think this group will be together at the point that they get to look at that last K in particular, get to do some on-bike recon work here as we roll through. Conyers there. We mentioned Berger, who was aggressive with Stevens earlier. Schroeder, absolutely a rider to watch. The German Diesel. Cabot is there. Okay. But Nathan,
now we are going to jump back here. It looks like Hone here now, though. He did make it back into this pack. So it does look like they slowed right on down in preparation. They're looking at the men's race now as the riders are about to hit their second time over the climb. And this is actually where the race is going to be made. This second climb, riders are going to have some softened up legs. The first climb over the top, that was just a warm up really compared to what we're going to see here. If a breakaway is going to happen and not have a bunch sprint, it has to be on this climb. That's the reality of the situation here. And I have a feeling that from bottom to top, it's going to be all in from a few of these riders.
So, Nathan, what kind of odds do you give a solo rider, a couple riders staying away? Because typically these finishes are a mad rush to the line. A reduced group, certainly. I wouldn't expect there to be more than 10 riders left in this group as they go up over the top of that climb, talking about the volcano climb. But then holding off a strong chase group, incredibly hard to do on that run. And talk to me about the chances you give any kind of a breakaway. I mean, James Piccoli, the San Dimas stage race winner last year, helped us punch his ticket to make his way into the World Tour. Can he do it? Solo attack over the top with 15 seconds? Is that enough? I mean, he's going to have to hold off Lionel Viasen.
Yeah, the reality is that it's going to have to be hard enough from bottom to the top here. And Talbot's doing exactly that right now. 7 watts per kilogram, 411 watts right now. I think this is actually a tactical move coming from the indoor specialist. Throw somebody off the front, make the other teams chase at this point and soften up their legs while somebody sits in. There is advantage on this climb with these little downhills. See this 3% gradient downhill? And then it goes through the volcano as well to 0% gradient. There's a couple of little sections where you can grab some draft, and those little reprieves really, really do matter. And if there is not a chase that brings this back, or if there is a chase that brings this back from one of the other teams, the other indoor specialist riders, that's who these riders riding for. Talbot is riding for indoor specialist. Fleeman's going to be sitting in. Anybody else with that IS in the name, they're going to be sitting in, getting the drag back up to them. Perfect move here. The other thing about this is it's going to make it hard enough for the rest of the riders that it may split. It'll cause so that last kick over the top is not just kind of a fresh kick, because if it's just a fresh kick, everybody else is going to be able to go along with it. They're going to be closing down gaps. But if this is absolute maximum effort to the top, it's going to splinter things up, and then you could have a breakaway situation. But it has to be 6 watts per kilogram from bottom to the top from a few of the riders to really make that happen.
Right now, Talbot is outstanding here. Command performance as he's doing exactly what you said. Bike Racing 101, Nathan, as they're out on the last lap here on the whole lot of lava circuit. Indoor specialist, our host team here. And Talbot, if he doesn't win the race, he certainly set the table for his teammates. You got Alex Hone chasing hard right now. Look at these numbers from Piccoli and Hone. The Williams is up there now, the Legion rider. These are the usual sucks. Sabota now up on the front of that chase. All right, we are definitely separating the wheat from the chaff, and that gap is coming down, Nathan. So it maxed out at about 6 seconds. That's one of the things I love about Zwift is the instant data that we get here as well. And they're shutting it down. Cover and kill out there right now. But Talbot does a very good job for his team of forcing other riders to chase, trying to put some pressure on the other squads. Nathan, as you said, if you're going to win this on the climb, you're going to have to do it from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, and we can see the riders here responding now, as we do see it's Cormac McKeel now going across with, it looks like Talbot Bishop now, seeing that this is a threat. Jeremiah Bishop now 7, 8, 9 watts per kilogram here, coming from the the absolute champion, national champion on the MTB multiple times here. Christensen here now trying to go across, it looks like going to be holding on. This is the moment. This is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
See how it's starting to splinter here, completely going into a straight line. Nobody can hang on. Everyone's looking for that wheel over and over again. Now it's going to be Ovid now to the front there. Yep, Pickley and Ovid, there's the response. They know each other too. And Bishop now knows as well, I need to go with this. They know that this is the selection point, as Ovid goes at 8 watts per kilogram, 2% uphill gradient. Now perfect timing, now 43 kilometers per hour on an uphill. This man is demolishing the field right now.
Yeah, and I apologize. I identified Ovid as NTT. Absolutely. Israel Cycling Academy, Startup Nation team rider here. Wow. Boy, he has lit the fuse out here right now. That's the man that we're watching here. Remember, he's got an incredibly strong teammate as well. That's the strongest 1-2 tandem that I've ever seen, Nathan, when you talk about Ovid and Pickley. It's just body blow after body blow being thrown by these two right now. Okay, there's at least half of that group are now turned into a mushroom cloud out here on the whole lot of lava circuit. You're used to big clouds of steam, but not quite like this, as you got to look at the dramatic climb that they're on. But 7.4 watts per kilo from the Australian right now, and it's still not enough to open up more than a couple of seconds gap. Those riders really hanging in there. Okay, they just will not let go. But this is the man making his mark right now. Ovid rolling it.
Yeah, and you can see Pickley here looking to come across now. The two UCI World Tour pros, as you can see here, both riding for that. This looks like a coordinated situation. Bishop knows these are the men to follow here. Bishop now coming across, and it's going to be 3 on the front now, and then it's going to be Stu and Miles there. Freyer is trying to go as well, and this is that final kick we're talking about. 10% uphill grade. Jeremiah Bishop goes to the front, 11 watts per kilogram. The American 186 beats per minute here. Solid kick. Now, if they're going to break it, he does not want to sprint effort to the line. He has told me time and time again he wants to break things apart and go all into these kind of longer threshold efforts. He says, no, I don't want these punchy situations. I want to break things up, bring me 2 or 3 to the line. I'm fine with that. And he's got 2 World Tour pros from Israel Startup Nation going with him. The American here looking to bring some international blood with him. Can they make it happen? It's 1 second back, but that pack behind is so strong. Going to be a tough day. They have to work together very well at this point. 7 seconds can do it, though. And will the chase, you could waste so much.
They did it, Nathan. They might have done it. Welcome to the world of Zwift. You've got one of the all-time legends of American mountain biking, that being Jeremiah Bishop, going with a couple of the young World Tour hitters on the Israel Startup Nation team. Let's see if they can do it. Nathan, you've got the group right there. So those blue and white jerseys, they're going to be the other riders. Weiss is there. Let's see who else we have. So we mentioned Ovid, the Australian, Pickley, the Canadian, racing for the Israel Startup Nation team. That's a World Tour squad. Kind of teams that you see. I mean, both of these guys could be racing in the Tour de France in, I guess, August now. Stu, Nathan, the other rider here, I'm trying to figure out exactly. Is it Lionel Viasen also in this group, or he's leading the chase? No,
he's
in the
leading
group.
The chase. He's leading the chase group. Leading the chase group.
Now.
Lionel Viasen's trying to come across. They have not been caught yet. They've got 5 up the front here, and here is going to be Yager now. Out of the US of A, 6 watts per kilogram, trying to shut this down. Can they work together, though, at the front? It does not look like they're going to be able to make this happen. They're shutting it down because this group is coming on like wildfire right now, and they will make the catch. They will grab back on, but it has been very reduced. The chances are much better at this point, and these riders, they're going to have some hurt in the legs. There may be a few that played it very smart, but look at this. See, Miles goes right on through here. A counterattack on the downhill. This is amazing to see here.
Another Israel Cycling Academy rider. I did not know Miles was here. Here we go. Again, they're just throwing haymaker after haymaker at this group. But Nathan, it's still not enough. It looks like they've welded it back together one more time. Let's see who's going to come up and over the top. Jeremiah Bishop remains part of the conversation. What an outstanding job he's doing out here today.
Quick on those super tucks. Now, just everybody, Real quick on those super tucks there. Did you see the riders getting into that tuck position? That is actually a control of the game that the riders are using. You go to 0 watts on a specific downhill. If it's 35 miles per hour or more, right around that 60 plus kilometer per hour mark, and you have more than a 3% downhill gradient, you go to 0 watts, you actually gain speed by going to 0 watts. We actually have a kick here from Brett Boniface now going.
You have to stop pedaling completely.
Stop pedaling completely and go to 0 watts. You have to make sure it goes to 0 watts, because sometimes you stop pedaling if you have a certain trainer or whatever. You have to set it up correctly that you get to that 0 watts, and then you can time it so well, and then you get into that super tuck. It'll actually give you a boost like an aero power up, which is absolutely like the riders that you see doing that.
Yep.
The riders that you see doing that at those specific moments are so well trained, especially at moments where it's only for a couple seconds that you get that downhill gradient. And you can see here Stu now coming across the Boniface, shutting it down. We're into the last few K here, Dave. And
Nathan, to back up what you were saying, that was how Boniface got that gap. He's a very savvy racer out here on Zwift. But I tell you who's a world tour legend, Dan Fleeman, is back up there in the mix. He's stirring the pot right now. It's going to be awfully hard to beat the Israel Startup Nation team. They've got 3 riders up in this group. But there you go, another rider like a rocket ship on rails. That's going to be Christensen. Yep, there you go. Christensen now hitting out. Nathan, we're rapidly running out of real estate. We're down to about 2K to go. Let's bring it on home, boys. Andiamo.
Yeah, and we see Christensen jumping into orange numbers. Whenever you see those orange numbers on the right-hand side, you know they're going into a semi-sprint to a full-on sprint after your Vyasen. Also, 0 watts. Look at them. They're almost showing off at this point how well they know how to make that happen. And now we are going to be coming into the 2-tier in just a moment here, and it's going to be all into the finish line at that point here. But real quick, before we hit that up, we will be jumping over to the women just for a second. Just to let everybody know that they have started their climb. We do have on the front, it looks like Tibco and Revo, Daniela Straight, making a move. Stevens is sitting in as they start their climb. We will jump back in with them as they finish their climb. We got to get the finish, though, here for the men's race. Jeremiah Bishop, he goes all in, it looks like here. Bishop is on the go. He does not want a pure sprint effort to the line. He wants a full-on kick to get away.
Nathan, change the screen for our viewers there as we're still looking at.
Thank you so much.
There you go. That. Thank you. Right on. Bishop, is that jam? Okay. Wow. Miles, okay. Israel Cycling Academy, it was almost inevitable that they were going to be attacking over and over and over until they could make something stick. Is it going to be Miles who's done it? I think he might have, Nathan. They're less than 1K to go here.
Yeah, and they're going to hit this 2-tier here into the finish line now. It's Miles trying to hold on. He might have went a little bit too early, though. 201 beats per minute here coming from Israel Cycling Academy. But Yager now trying to come across. Stu, 9 watts per kilogram. This is a lot of wattage here on this first little kick. Then there's going to be a second kick to the line. Who is going to be able to hold on? Timed so perfectly is what it's going to have to be. The riders sitting in, they're going to have a lot of extra. Miles here, 6.7. Keeling going across. The counterattack about to come.
Great
Freyer
example,
here.
Nathan, though. You see how his wattage per kilogram numbers were much higher than the chase, but those riders working together, just like in real life, we're able to bring him back. We're going to hit the reset button one final time here. Thanks again to USA Cycling for keeping the dream alive. We're going to be racing all over the world soon enough, but this is such a good example of what it's all about. This is going to be
Boniface.
All right, watch out.
It looks like it's going to be Boniface to the line. Otto, Stu, Boniface there to the line. Solid result there coming in from Brett Boniface. First American. We'll have to look back here in just a moment as to who the first American was across the line. We'll take a look at the replay after we get results in as well. We'll have those up in just a few seconds. Let's jump back in with the women. That was a crazy sprint there to the line. I believe Brett Boniface was able to take it out, though, on that second kick to the top of the 2-tier.
Okay, well, the women are down to about 7.5K of racing remaining. Lauren Stevens has been tenderizing this group without any doubt. We take a look at Christy Tracy is still there. Charlotte Backus is there. The Romanian rider, Daniela, very strong. Nathan, you're super familiar with her for many, many esports races that she's been a factor in throughout the last couple of years. Murray, Russell, Costin, riders from around the world riding here in this USA sponsor indoor specialist. Thanks a lot, guys. Boy, they were a big part of that men's race that we just watched wrap up. We've still got quite a few races out on course right now, but again, picking up the Tête de la Corsa, the front of the race with Lauren Stevens and company. Lauren is taking this down What do you think, Nathan? About 20 riders, it looks like, in these two subgroups. Oh, but there goes Berger.
Yeah, it looks like the Sars
Israel's
Infinite
Berger.
rider now
Sars,
going
yep.
across here, as Murray is there as well. So the Sars team here, Infinite, have made a solid little attack on the front here. Doesn't look like it's going much of anywhere. Just a little bit of a testing of the legs. It wasn't an all-in effort there. It looked like Costin there from Revo now taking over the front. It looks like there's some organization here to maybe continue this speed, though, because we do see some suffering on the back here with C. Good from Fearless as well as Conyers. And I think they smell a little blood in the water here to maybe split things apart. Rich Tova there as well. Tracy's still hanging out. Now Lauren Stevens making her way slowly to the front. This second half of the climb is really the business end of it. And I think Lauren is just setting herself up perfectly in the pack to maybe have that second attack. We saw her over the top of the volcano at that 10% gradient with a kick, got away with one rider, maybe going to do it again the second time up.
Yeah, they made it hard enough, but I think that reality, Nathan, not many sports. I don't know in other esports how it works, but do you hear the commentators while you're racing, right? What a bizarre situation it is for our racers to be able to hear us. But I mean, it comes as no news to anyone in this group that we're looking at. Again, this is the Vanguard in our women's A race here, that Lauren Stevens is going to light it up. And she'll use the steepest part of the course to her advantage. The harder it gets, the better it is for the rider out of Dallas, Texas. That's just the reality here. No reason to beat around the bush. Let's see what we've got, though. More riders. Russell up there has made this into quite a journey to the top. Lauren Stevens is now, looks like she's hit out for the top of the mountain. Here goes the American Stevens. Get ready, folks. Brace yourself. It's on like Donkey Kong as Stevens now puts it up into the red. Nathan, you talk about watching those numbers there. Lauren Stevens sitting over 7 watts per kilo.
Yeah, and Costin here trying to come across. This may be a move that can stick here. We can see, just like in the men's race, right around that 10 seconds, and they got lucky to come back. Well, not lucky. They had to put the effort in, though, to come back here. Berger, though, I think, believes that this may stick, and she's trying to go across as well. If Stevens is allowed to go away, I think she could TT to the end. You saw how short the reality of the landscape that was left at the bottom of this climb. They're going to descend for about 2 to 3 minutes, but then it's nothing but really flat and a 2-tier kick. Berger going across here. Stars Infinite here as well as SVB. This could happen.
I think that for Lauren Stevens, this might be ideal. You can't quite do it alone. How about one really good partner, Nathan? Maybe 2. But, oh, yeah, the group behind is just shattered out there now. So Stevens has done the damage, but the job is not done yet. She's going to need to get that fine brush out if this one is going to be done and dusted, with her taking home a gold medal here in our first ever. So we've done a couple preview races. First time we've been doing it for real. And Berger has made the catch and she goes by Stevens. Stevens needs to grab that wheel. I think she's going to. All right, here's the give and the take.
And with that 11 seconds here, Dave, I think this may work. Russell here from Saras, she's not going to be interested. There's no interest. Look at how many Saras, 1, 2, 3 in the group. And Revo, it's all that's left here. There's 4 Saras riders here in the group. They're not going to chase. Berger is gone at this point. Why would they chase their teammate down? They're going to let her go. Russell, actually, those 6 watts per kilogram, maybe a little infighting here within the team, unless she can break the rest of the riders here very quickly. Lolly Stevens sees this coming down. Perhaps, now here's the thing. There's this many riders from Saras. They might want to shut this down because their odds are very high.
So, Nathan, here's what I'm thinking. It's the devil you know and devil you don't, right? I think you take the situation that you have right now, because you'll bring Emily Newsom up, who's very strong finisher here. I think you just go ahead and let Berger and Stevens, you're going to let someone else do the work, but they're dangling out there right now, Nathan. Sitting about 4 seconds is the gap to chase one. Levine, Daniela, the very strong rider out of Romania, British rider Mason, Costin there, Russell, and Christy Tracy, another American hanging in there. Murray also up there. Now it's 2 seconds, so they're going to make the catch, Nathan, with just about 4K to go. Hit the reset button one more time, folks, as this small group of riders. Let's see who's made it. Did Charlotte Backus? Oh, she did. Good job to the rider. So Charlotte lives just 10 miles away from Colorado
11 seconds back. 11 seconds back.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. My bad. I thought
So It's 10 seconds, though. That's it. Now it's 10. It's coming down very quickly. And Pamela Levine, she's got a solid TT effort from Vision there. Schroeder there also from Fearless. It's going to be Conyers there as well. Backus is going to be super motivated here along with Levine to bring this back. There is no Vision Rider, no Turbo Rider up ahead. Now it's back out to 15 seconds, so it's going to be a big ask. And with 5, I believe there's 5 Saurus Riders, Infinite Saurus Riders in this group. They're going to be working together so well. Essentially, this is going to be a lead-out train from these ladies to the line. So going to be hard ass to bring this back with only 4 riders making the chase and such a well-organized group of riders here up front with that Infinite team.
You got to love that that squad saying, oh, yeah, USA Cycling, you want to have a party? Well, get ready for some international representation. And that's what the world of cycling has always been about. I mean, I think our USA Cycling family has always had this great connection. That's one of the best things about getting into cycling. Ask anyone who's participated in the sport at an international level how huge the life experience has been as you travel around the world racing your bike. Well, we're traveling around Watopia now, looking at the finale coming up. Nathan, they are coming in hot. I'm going to expect a flurry of attacks. You know, Stevens got one more in her. No doubt about it. Lauren Stevens is going to be a big part of the plot line as we bring the ladies home. 2.5K of racing remaining now.
Yeah, 24 seconds out now. I believe these ladies have made this nearly impossible for that chase to bring things back.
Yeah, this is the group of your winner. For sure.
100% here. Now, the question is, we've got 2 Revo ladies here. We've got 5 Saurus, Infinite Saurus, and then we've got Lauren Stevens. It's Stevens against the world here at this point, it seems like,
She'll
of the Zwift racing crowd. Yep. Can she take it down? It's a 2-tier kick. The initial kick, that's not actually where the race is usually won. You have to put some solid distance between yourself and the rest of the pack because there's a little bit of landscape of flat where a group can work together for a moment, and then that second kick to the line, that's usually where it's won in that last 200 to 300 meters here. We're into the flat right before the 2-tier into the volcano now as they're going to calm right on down, waiting for that kick.
Good for Christy Tracy as well. Coming back from that fractured hip to be up here in this group, I am really, really impressed. That's what you call heart, no doubt about it. She's the other American here, Stevens. Who am I missing? I know there's one more. Christy Tracy, I just mentioned. And maybe that's it, Nathan. Just those 2 Americans up in this group. Again, our breakout of the categories will absolutely have our USA Cycling results that will include only the Americans. That's why you were entering your license numbers. So we'll have our aggregate results, including everyone. And then obviously this is a rolling top 10 that we're looking at right now. Front group, Nathan, just a little over 1K to go. All right. This is the best feeling in the world. Watching a small group finish up a tough day of racing. It's been 29.1 kilometers to get to this point. Christy Tracy now taking a turn, it looks like, Nathan.
Lolly here now trying to shut this down. We're in the last 500 meters or so. Now this is that first kick, 6% gradient. Now they're going to hit into the volcano. It's going to flatten out. Lolly Stevens shuts it down. Will she go right on by? She does get a little bit of a gap here. Does she commit? No, she's playing. This is so smart, actually, coming from Lolly Stevens here now. It looks like Berger, very coy now. Berger, they've got a gap, though. I'm not sure it's going to get shut down. It's going to be 3 riders to the line, it looks like here. Stevens sitting in. Look at the talent. Look at the tactic here. Lauren Stevens knows how to race Zwift, it looks like. 180 beats per minute.
Brilliant. Nathan, we're looking at a master class right now from Lauren Stevens. She's been out doing our volet rides every week. She has really learned. She's a savvy woman, and she has really learned how to race. Now, again, she's going to have to hold off a charge from the white brigade here. Berger is there.
No,
Berger is there.
Hold on. It's going to be right to the line now. Berger comes over the top. Will she be the first American? It looks like it's going to be Stevens, second place on the day, but the first American across the line as Berger takes it down for Infinite Saurus. Murray there, it looks like, for third. Man. What a kick. The second group now coming to the line. Pamela Levine, it looks like, from Vision here with just a race of attrition, followed very closely by Shorter. Then Backus there from Turbo. Good there from Fearless. That's your top 10 rounding out to the line. Amazing results there all around in our first USA Cycling race out here, league out here on Zwift. That was the men and the women's A's. We'll get some replays and results in just a second, but wow, what a field, what a race on Whole Lotta Lava, Dave.
A lot of respect for Berger there as she beat Stevens. I thought Lauren was unbeatable today. Lauren's been putting a lot of time in, but again, I want to say thank you to our friends at USA Cycling. I know how hard they're working there. Rob DiMartini has done a tremendous job. No one could have seen what was coming here this year. And we've got the right guy to get us back out racing our bikes as soon as, it's the right time to do it. So we've got some smart people who work hard, who have the same passion as you do for cycling. And we're going to get through this together for sure. But big thanks to Indoor Specialist as well for hosting today. Big thank you to you, Nathan. Another great job. And actually, a lot of racing today, 4 different categories. And I think you can always find those results and look for your USA Cycling breakout as well for that special benefit of being a USA Cycling member.
Yeah, we're just going to grab the results here in just a second, everybody, as we can get them up on the screen. We're waiting for the ladies' results to populate. We definitely do have the men's side of things here. We'll take a look at the replays as well. There were a couple of attacks up and over the top of the climb. We definitely want to see how things played out there. As we did see, it looked like that initial kick, though, from let's see here. It was going to be Ryan Christensen. Is that right here that made that initial kick? And let's just go take a quick little look at this.
Makes sense.
Here. Yeah,
he's
so
that kind of
there,
racer. Yeah,
right on the wheel there, World Tour rider there, as you can see from that Israel Startup Nation there. It's going to be Mills Keeling right on his wheel there from Ribble. Freyer trying to come across Fleeman here. These were the kicks to the line. But Weiss there trying to hold Boniface there. There was that 13 watts per kilogram. He was the first one across the line, though, when it came down to it. Look at the timing there from Boniface. Knew exactly where to go. And as we said, it's that second-tier kick from back about 5th or 6th wheel. Waited patiently there. Where are all the Americans here, though? It looks like it's an international field at the front.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, Brett Boniface, the Canadian, has been doing this. Nathan, do you think you've seen him race 100 times? I'm going to guess you have.
At least
on this
probably
platform.
more than that. I'd say
least,
hundreds,
right?
Hundreds and hundreds.
So
of
think
times,
about the experience that he has, how well he knows how these finishes play out. There's that surge, and then the sustain, and then the kick. I think actually I figured that out now, because that's what it is. If you don't go with that first surge, you're never going to close down a gap in the last 200 meters. If they're a second ahead of you, you're not going to get that back. So you got to be in that front group, got to make that selection, but then you have the ability to go up and over the top. It's really about how badly you're willing to hurt yourself. As I have been so impressed. And I mean, again, you know what they did today? They got rid of the nation's number 1 beast. No one wants to sprint with the Williams brothers. And
yeah, we're looking here quick.
One way to not sprint with them is to get them out of the group. It's hard to do, though. Really hard to do.
Looking here at the results, it looks like, I mean, the first American, Scotty there, it looks like here, but I think it was Kevin Bichard Hall right behind outside of the top 10. So mainly an international field. The Americans going to have to figure some things out here, it looks like, in the USA Cycling Series. Cormac,
count Cormac McGee as an American.
Yeah. Good call. And is he going to be riding with the USA Cycling license is my question, because he is living here in America. I wonder if he's registered with which federation. That's a great question.
I'm going to crowdsource that. He lives in Durango. I'm going to guess that he carries an American USA Cycling license. But you know what? I'll have an answer for you next week, because we get to do this again, Nathan.
Next week, everybody, we will have a upfront results actually list with the league standings. So we will have that up front for everybody, and we'll look to try and populate as well from the USA Cycling standings as well. So
as you said, though, look how international this top 10 is. I feel like we're at the Olympics.
Now, we do have plenty of Americans here in the B category, though. Lucas Damalix, Brian Howells, Connell Alford, and it's going to be Lou Sabadik, and then Nick Roach, Chris Stint, and then Tom Malefit there as well. Then Chuck Coyle, the other American out there. Nikki Mason rounding out the top 10 there as well. So solid job to all the C riders out there. B category. C category here, take it away, Dave. Check this out.
Yeah, Toblas there. Jeff Lamb second. Jonathan Bates in third. You can see, though, that this one was a breakaway that Tob won, the German rider. Sebastian Badilli was fourth. Rounding out our top 5 is Alex Wendt. And then a stream of Americans here. Crit Witt on YouTube. Sixth, Moshe Katan. In seventh, Louis Kasky. In eighth, Paul Ozier. In ninth, and then Zach Goodrich. Rounding out our top 10. That's our C category. Then moving to the D's. Nathan, I'll just work through this as well. Ian taking the top step of the podium. Good job, Ian. Chris Teskey in second. Andrew Wilkerson in third. It's all Americans here. Nice to see. Pat Haynes in fourth. Devin Harper fifth. Then we've got Michael Kraus, Don Judson, Kevin Rocktashel, Thomas Bonnier, and Joe Sikojes. Rounding out our top 10. That's our D's.
Yeah, and then we're going to jump on in with the women as well. It looks like we got them up here. And it is going to be Shani Berger there, Lauren Stevens there right behind her. I thought she was going to take it down, but it was obviously the Israel rider that was able to take it in the sprint. Caroline Murray with the USA Cycling ID. So maybe with the country flag there, but it looks like swapping it up with the
What
USA
country?
Cycling
You know,
license.
Nathan?
I believe that's
I'm going
Scotland.
to plead
I believe
ignorance.
that's Scotland.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I believe
That's
that's
not a
Scotland.
common flag for us to see. So that's Caroline there. Christy Tracy held on for fourth. Good for her.
Yeah, and Daniela Estrate there from
Estrate.
Revo,
Yep.
Polly Mason, Anna Russell, and then it's going to be Morgan Costin, Pamela Levine, followed up by Fiona Schrader there for the A category in this racing there. In the B category, though, it looks like we don't have all the B riders across the line, everybody.
They're probably still racing.
When they don't populate everybody. So we're going to go ahead, and if you want to check out results, head on over to ZwiftPower.com. Sorry about the results there over the top, guys, for a second. But go ahead and head on over to ZwiftPower.com for all of the results that are preliminary, and then Indoor Specialists along with USA Cycling will be doing the post-race analysis of those results, and then the USA Cycling official results will be over on their website. Dave, first go, round number 1. I think we've got 10 more. We got 10 races total, I believe. I mean, we've got a long series going to be hammering away here out on Zwift. If you want to get involved, head on over to USA Cycling, check out the details, and then you can always check out our releases of our broadcast schedule every week. We're here every Wednesday for the next few weeks.
I can't wait. It's been a blast. Great job out there, everybody. Right on.
Yeah, great job, everybody. It was absolutely great having all the viewers out here, and we will see you guys tomorrow for the World Tactical Racing League, TTT, here on Zwift Community Live. If you haven't done so already, hit those follow buttons, and we will see you tomorrow out on Zwift. Thanks, everybody, for joining in, and ride on.